Alright, g'day there. So we have another episode of e-waste finds and donations, technically. They're not all e-waste. One thing I didn't show was I recently scored this bad boy. Check out this thing. Big UPS that has batteries that are so heavy. These are the battery packs that go in it. They are so big, these weigh about 25 kilos each, so it's like, in this bottom thing, which is just a battery box, it's like 50, 60 kilos, and I literally could not carry it by myself. Check out this big chunky connector. So I've seen these things before, but I've not actually had one to play with. Look, that's got high current connector. Yeah. So this is from a decommissioned bank branch, because as we all know, the bank branches are shutting down all over the country. So yeah, rather than go in the bin, I put it in my van. Check these guys out. So we'll start with the one on the end and end with the WANG. Okay, so first up, apart from that UPS, is this HP. It's got CD. It is a HP Pro and HP Pro 3330 micro tower. i7 2600. Okay. 1 year warranty, Windows 7, still got the sticker. Nice. Let's have a look. Let's look inside. Do we need a screwdriver? No. Down there, and yeah, that's pretty dusty. We've got a dusty Radeon video card. Nice big heatsink. Yeah, right. So a little bit dusty, but not too bad. So let's plug it in and fire it up. Hopefully that works. That keyboard, mouse. And power. Alright, we should fire up. Yeah, we have fans, light. Help if I turn the screen on. Yeah, and we have boot. So the screen's just turned on so it's dull. Yeah, there we go. No boot, but let's go on the BIOS and see what we can find. Memory test passed. Hardware diagnostic. Yeah, no hard drive, that's typical. Yeah, okay, passed, but what do we got in that? So let's try delete for our button. Now it's just looping. Try again. Let's try the holding down F1. Alright, quick Google search to find out what the BIOS hotkey is. Okay, so apparently it's F10. F10. Hey, there we go. System information. What do we got? Oh, an i3 2120. RightArrow. No wonder they threw it out. i3 21, so what's that? Second gen. Okay. And memory, 8 gig of RAM, 2 slots of 4. Okay, well, looks like it's working at least. Maybe we could rehome this in the future. So, just want to speed through these, so we're not going to run diagnostics or anything, but let's get to the next one. Okay, next up we have what I think is a Pentium II. Pentium 3, yep, Pentium II. very old school case. Very tall, old school case. What is that, Leader? That's a Adelaide-based computer company. They might be in other states, I don't know. So here we've got a video card, sound card, Ethernet card with only 4 pins in it, I can see. So let's open up and have a look. Alright, what do we got? Pentium II cartridge, Pentium II. Well, they were all cartridges, weren't they? Let's have a quick look. That looks like a Sun Blaster 128, maybe. Yeah, doesn't look heaps familiar. We'll pull that out. When's this? 99, based on the sticker. Got probably a 10100 Ethernet card, judging by the fact it's only got 4 pins in there. And some kind of video card. What kind of video card is that? Don't know. It's got a yeah. Cool. And we've got the Pentium II. What can we see on that? It is focusing. Got the light on the right angle. And I don't know if you can see that, but it is a 350 5112 cache, 100 front side bus, 2 volts. Very good. And some memory. That's not immediately obvious how much memory that is. That's 128. Okay. That one's 128. We might have 256 of RAM. A power machine. So let's power it up, see if it works. Saw a flash on the. Where's the power button? It's there. Oh, I hear fans. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 4 or? Okay, try that again. So 1 long, 2 short, and then like a 3rd one. All right, let's go do a quick Google search, what that beat code means.
12 seconds later.
Okay, so a quick look at that beat code indicates video. So let's have a look at the video card, shall we? Trusty drill. That didn't feel like it was seated properly. What video card that is? Probably search the oh, here we go. Oh, FX 5200 128. And I'm actually seeing a bit of contamination on the pins back here, especially there. It looks like there's a big greasy fingerprint on it. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, let's get some electrical cleaner on it and see if we can't get it to work quickly. Alright, let's plug it in. Plug it back in. I really should clean the socket in there, but let's just do a quick test. Alright, power up. Fingers crossed. So if this, oh, there we go. We've got a display. Hey, so that's all it needed. Let's go have a look. All right, so we've got ward bias, Pentium II 233. That's just not configured properly. 256 mega RAM, which is pretty nice for a system of this era. CMOS defaults loaded, and there's no hard drive in there. Sweet. So, like I said before, I'm not going to diagnose these. Hey, I heard the floppy drive. It's got a floppy drive. I'm not going to sorry, not diagnose, run diagnostics, yada yada. So this is just a quick power up just to see what it is, if it works. If this stuff does work, I just chuck it in the suspected working pile, and then once I get time, I will go through, check all the hardware properly. This has probably got a flat battery, so there's no point changing any of this. But yeah, that's alright, isn't it? The Pentium II system that just needed a cleaned video card. So I'm just curious to know what sound card this is, because it doesn't look like a 128 in that tiny gap that I can see it. So let's just pull that out. Yeah, so the Pentium IIs were around when I started working on computers in the late 90s. So I've got a bit of a nostalgic thing, and back in the late 90s I couldn't afford to buy a computer, so my first proper computer after my 486, which is actually still up there on the shelf, was a Pentium II, which is probably the same CPU as this. I don't have the retainers in. Let's get that undone. So this is I don't remember, there used to be not many issues with Pentium II era hardware. It was based on the Pentium Pro, so it was a pretty good processor. Creative ES 1370, Audio Pro 3000. Alright. It's like a cheap 128 in Sonic. There you go, 997. Basic video card, audio card, but hey, it's alright. Back in the day it was a step up from the, what's that? That's like a thermal. Yeah, it's got like a thermal thing on it. Yeah, you didn't see those all the time. It was always, main boards always have these optional extras that they throw in, you know, where you can connect this and that. It's funny, every now and then you see something's actually being used. So yeah. Alright, we're gonna close it up now, leave it at that. That's the extra power header for systems that needed it. 3.3 and 5 volt. Alright, let's get this finished off and on to the next one. Yeah, so finally got that back on. I remember these old cases were an absolute pain in the ass to put back together, because you've got like a clip under here that goes down there, plus all around the edge there's like a lip that has to go in at the same time that lines up, at the same time this thing lines up. So yeah, I don't miss these old cases. They're terrible airflow too. This literally, that's all the airflow this case has. There's nothing in the front. Yeah, good times. I mean, did you really need it? I mean, yeah, the fan usually gave it enough airflow, I guess, but on a hot day, I guess they could potentially get warm. No, there's a little bit of airflow down the bottom there. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let's get on to the next one. Okay, so this one is a deceased estate that I got given. Someone I know said, "Hey, Mike, do you want to have a computer?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah." Can't. Well, if it's fixable, I'll rehome it. Do something. So yeah, because this is deceased estate, it's got hard drives, so I'm not going to sniff around on their data because I don't want to find anything I don't want to find. So it's full of cobwebs, very dusty. Got some old school video card. Wow, it's like, yeah, this was in the country, so it's got like red dust everywhere. Phew, smells like cigarette smoke too. Oh no, dude. Yuck, it's cigarette smoke with dust. Ugh. Alright, let's, so, what is that? No sticker on the front. My guess, oh, it's got those, so this is probably my money's on a later Pentium 4 or an early Core 2. So, let's fire it up and see what we got. Just powering up. She's a bit noisy. Yep, she comes to life. Pentium 4, there you go. And it's a P5P 800. Beep, 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 beep. Right, let's go have a look. Alright, so we've got DDR memory, 1 gig of RAM. Does it only have 1 gig? Oh my gosh, it does too. Wow, I suppose it is Pentium 4, isn't it? 3.2 gig or 320? Yeah, it's a 320, sorry. So it's been upgraded at some point, and it's got the wrong date and time and a new CPU installed. Sweet. Just joking. Alright, let's see what processor it is precisely. And my keyboard is not responding. It's definitely plugged in. Yeah, okay. See if we can catch a glimpse. P5P 800. Oh, it's got AI. See that? Fail error. Chassis intruded. It's got the chassis in. Okay, well, let's clear the BIOS, shall we? And that's hilarious that someone's actually used the chassis intrusion. Where's the button? I don't see the button anywhere. Maybe it's just because it's sitting around for a while. Fanless design. Zero noise. Yeah, right. It's like a big heatsink thing on the MOSFETs. And where we got? There's a battery. There's a clear CMOS jumper. Let's clear that. 1, 2, 3, and on. There you go. Yep, keyboard's working now. So, nope, keyboard's not working now. Well, the numlock's working. Wasn't doing that before. So I just realised I wasn't recording. I actually got into the BIOS, and I was just exiting the BIOS. So I was talking to myself for a couple minutes. Alright, well, so we got the keyboard working. Oh, well, I don't know if you saw this, but we cleared the NVRAM. Cleared the NVRAM and saw that it is a Pentium 4 3.4 with an 800 frontside bus. So I was just kind of debating what socket that might be, whether it's a 478, which might fit into my IBM rebuild I did a while ago. Or if it might be a socket 775, in which case it's the less desirable of the Pentium 4s. Where did I go? Pentium 4, 3.4, 1 gig of RAM. I suppose that was enough once upon a time, wasn't it? Ah, hardware monitor. So it's got motherboard temperature. So I wonder if that's this. Where'd it go? Oh no, I'm a tripper. That was off the other system. Don't mind me. Wow, CPU's getting hot. 60 degrees at idle. Probably needs a good clean, and thermal paste is probably turned into charcoal with dust. Or nothing else we can really do. Instant music configuration. That's hilarious. What is that? If enabled, power up by PS2 keyboard function will be disabled. So that's called instant music. It's like instant keyboard. That's a poor translation, isn't it? Where did I go before? Oh, here we go. CPU configuration. So because it's got an 800 front side bus, what did Pentium 4s have? This socket 478. It was 533. Was it 805 or 533? Anyway, I'm curious to know what processor this is, because if this is a 3.4, that's actually pretty rare, and that will be going into my IBM. So let's unclip it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 775 though, based on the CPU clips. But let's have a look anyway. Whoa, that's really hot. Damn. Yeah, it's about 60 degrees like it says. Alright, let's take a quick look. Alrighty, so I've set the light up so you can have a look with me. So my money is on this is a socket 775. Because 775 3.4s were quite common. Yeah, it's a 775. Dull. Oh well. Man, if I ever find a 3.4 Pentium 4, that'd be sweet as. Although, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, it's working. We're not going to boot it up. I'm just going to wipe that drive and test it, because deceased S-state especially, it's none of my business what was on there. So, alright, let's go to the next computer, shall we? Alrighty, so I was just thinking, before we move on to the next one, I'm just going to plug this guy back in and wipe the drive. So I just thought, it's one thing to talk about wiping drives, it's another thing to actually do it. So to do this, I'm going to use my bootable Doge Workshop utilities. Made a video about this a while ago. It's just got all the different bootable disk utilities. So one of the utilities is the Western Digital Diagnostics, which we can use to write zeros to the drive, which is pretty much good enough to clear anything off of it. You're probably not going to be able to recover data after running lots of zeros to the drive. So there we go. So we go to boot and boot settings config, quick boot. Where's boot menu? And it doesn't have one. Isn't that great? Alright, let's change the boot drive priority to first drive. Oh, it's not seeing the USB drive. Alright. Let's USB configuration, 2 support enabled, 2 controller enabled, hard disk, so I can see it there. So I'm not sure if you can see that, probably not. I'll have to move the camera closer. Alright, so it actually sees the SanDisk there. So hopefully you would think it would show it up under the boot menu. Hard disk drives. Oh, there we go. So we'll just change it to SanDisk, because all we want to do is first floppy drive, SanDisk. We just want to wipe that drive, so we don't care if it boots. I don't even care what operating system's on it. Exit and save changes. Yes. Smelling a bit hot. Just to let you know too, you probably saw me take the heatsink fan off before. I actually put that back on quickly. I don't want to drag this video out too much, showing every little screw that I screw in. Just want to show wiping the drive. AI. Alright, here we go. Here's my bootable. So if you're interested in this drive, I did a video on it a little while back. Just gotta remember, there's a few different versions I've made of this. System diagnostics. So it's basically, it's kind of like that Ultimate Boot CD. It's just kind of removed everything that you wouldn't use. System tools. Sorry, it's been a while since I've used this version. Everything's shuffled around. So WD diodes, hopefully this should have the option to write zeros to the drive. Agreement. Wow, I don't remember this. Please read it and press escape when done. Yep, whatever. Do you accept it? There we go. So we've got the option write zeros to the drive. That's a WD320. So what we might do, we'll just do a quick test first. 6 minutes? Man. Alright, I'll pause the video and I'll be back in 6 minutes. Okay, so that's completed without errors. So quick test shows that the drive is healthy. So now we're going to go and erase it. So we go, most diagnostic utilities have this option. The Seagate does, and this version of the Western Digital. I think the desktop version does as well, but I noticed before when I was putting the fan back on that it is an IDE drive. Yeah, you can see that there somewhere. Wait. Yeah, anyway, it's a IDE drive. So I don't currently have a IDE caddy that I can just easily plug into the computer. So yeah, this is just the other way to do it. F for full arrays, yes. All data will be destroyed. That's what we want. Continue. So yeah, if you ever come across drives like this, I mean, I wrote the policies 20 years ago at a computer shop I worked at, and I made it so just to protect people's privacy. The exception was sometimes you'd have to recover data. So people would bring a computer in and say, hey, something's gone wrong, I can't access these files. You know, usually a certain part of the disk has a physical problem. It can't read from the area of the disk. So instead of just copying the entire folders across, you have to go into those folders and manually see what you can and can't copy across. And from time to time, unfortunately, you come across things you didn't really want to see. But I just had a strict policy because I was the workshop manager early 2000s. Not when I was obviously starting out, once I was a manager. I even made a rule where we weren't to speak about what we saw amongst each other, just out of general respect for privacy. So you can say you saw something and kind of, you know, roll your eyes or whatever. The exception was if we came across anything that was illegal, like kiddie porn. That was fortunately none, as far as I'm aware, no one ever came across that. But we actually had it in our policy when people brought their computers in for data recovery that if we did find anything like that, we would be calling the police straight away. So yeah, ain't got tolerance for that shit. So anyway, we're just gonna let this erase. And yeah, so this is the best way to erase a drive. I can't see, apparently people can still recover data after you've had zeros written to the drive, but I've tried data recovery programs like years ago and I could never recover or see anything. So I don't know, maybe some people just talking out of their rear end. So anyway, I've actually come back to do this a few days later because I was just having a think about it. I thought, I really should show. Some people out there probably don't realize that the diagnostic utilities have the ability to erase the drives properly. So yeah, here we are. All right, well, I'm going back to another Scotch and Coke. So yeah, hope you found this interesting. And I think I'm going to put this in between this video and the next one. So yeah, hope you enjoy the next part. Last one, we are not going to be able to use any of these keyboards or mice or anything because it is a WANG. Oh my gosh, and it freaking weighs a ton. Far out. For the amount of processing power, it doesn't. Weight is not equivalent to processing power, I'll tell you that. Check this thing out. It was actually being put in e-waste as I was sitting there. I said to the guy, hey, do you mind if I grab that? He's like, no, I don't care, take it. So he said it works, but one downside is I don't have any way to actually test this thing. You can power it up though, see if it makes cool hard drive sounds. You can do that. Back, got a big ass 240 volt fan. Standard IEC power connector, which is nice. Now, I actually downloaded the manual for this the night that I got this a little while ago. All of this is non-standard. Look at that. CPU, so that's the CPU card. 512 expansion, graphics, IBM Mono emulation, Spider, and what is that? Winch Controller 2. I'm guessing that's a drive controller. The big problem is none of this is standard. Like, I do not, this is for the monitor. I do not have a screen, and the outputs are weird. Like, you can't even make an adapter to hook up to anything. There probably is a way, but I'll have to really pull out the data sheets and have a much closer look. So anyway, all we can really do with this, we can't even look at the display, so we'll just power it up and see if it beeps and buzzes. Alright. Powering on. No power. Definitely power cord plugged in. That's because that's turned off. Okay. There you go. I was going to say, it's very unusual, these really old systems that have a 240 volt fan for it to not work. Oh, that hard drive sounds. Nah, nothing yet. Okay, I'm not hearing anything from that hard drive. Or the floppy. Anyway, let's see if we can't open him up and have a look. 2 screws, looks like it slides off. Let's have a look. It's not coming up for some reason. You know, I've never actually seen one of these in the flesh. I've heard about them, but I know that they weren't very popular because they weren't IBM compatible. Yet it used an 8086 processor, so I think that was probably why it was so unsuccessful. It wasn't IBM compatible. Oh no way! I've just realised this bottom part of the case is connected. Yeah, okay, more screws. So not sure what we're actually going to do with this thing, because I don't know anyone that's got a WANG. I suppose every bloke's got a WANG to a degree, don't they? But not this kind of WANG. Not one that weighs this much anyway. Not a 30 kilo WANG that doesn't boot. Oh, look at that. It's a bit different. So it's actually designed to do that. You lift the lid up. Wow, okay. You got a hard drive. Seagate Technologies 412. Hard drive error map. Geez, that's old. I suppose this is, what, early 80s? Damn. You know, one thing I've always wanted is a IBM 5150 or a 5160. Or even a 5170. Oh shit, there's a redback. Let's take care of him. There we go, chemical free bug spray. We go, oh that's cruel, did I do that to a redback? It's like, well, have I got a story to tell? I almost got killed by a redback. So I kind of got zero tolerance for the little buggers. That's a story for another day. Yuck. Alright, back to what's important. No splitters. Wow, look at there's like miles and miles of little memory chips in there. What's this? Pull rod in, direction arrow, release the CPU board, hold down, whatever. Wow, look at that. Big ass power supply. Huh. That's a big power supply. So yeah, what can we do with this? Nothing. I thought, oh, it'd be cool to have a WANG, and then I find out I was hoping it would be IBM compatible, PC compatible, but it's completely not anything compatible, so shit, I don't know what to do with this. It's got a nice hard drive in it. Have a look up here. The fact that the drive wasn't spinning. Yeah, see, look, it's still got standard connector for the drive. Let's do a quick power test. Alright, got the multimeter. The only problem is we've got to lay it down to test it. Oh gosh, it's heavy. How is it so heavy? I thought maybe most of the weight would have been in the case that we slid off, but it's still... Wow, that's still like a good 20 kilos. It's a raisable EEPROM on there. Might be some bits and bobs we can salvage. Who knows? Right now, let's see if we've got any voltage coming off. Just powering up. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, we've got 5 volts. And we've got 12 volts. Yet the hard drive ain't spinning up. What is that? It's an MF RLL or probably an MFM. RLL, so use the same drives. I can't remember off the top of my head what an ST412 is, so don't criticise me. And we've got some kind of old, probably a 360 or a 320. I mean, we might be able to use the drive. It's actually a 5, what do you call it? Not the full height, it's the half height with an adapter, so hey, maybe the drive's salvageable. We might be able to hook this up to our Book 8088. See if it, oh, hang on. Look at that, it's reading from the disk. For like 1 second and then it stopped. Yeah. Yeah, that's a shame. The big shame is, even if it was working, there's not a lot we could do with this anyway. So I'll go look up the hard drive. You know, it's not even spinning, so unless there's something wrong with the controller, try disconnect it. Yeah, someone's already mucked around with it. There's a cable tie holding that in. So these old drives didn't have much electronics on them. The electronics was managed by the controller. It wasn't until IDE that they kind of put most of this electronics onto the drive itself. Just to simplify computers. Yeah. The motor's dead on that. Felt the stepper motor. Okay, so I think we'll take a quick look at the CPU board. Oh man. It says literally to bend the thing to get this off. Oh. Alright. So the CPU board, which one's the CPU board? Expansion memory, graphics, IBM mono. So it must be on the board on the bottom. Okay. It doesn't look like it easily comes out. Oh, maybe it does. Let's just have a crack. Let's have a crack at it. There's like a ribbon cable there that can come off. What else is there? I think that's it. I think it literally just attaches to that back plane board. There's another one up here. You can see that up the top, so we can get that off. Bang, all falls apart. Yep, that's it. And possibly another one there. Wow, replacing mainboard is pretty easy in this thing. Cool. What is that? It's like a metal like a reinforcing bracket. So it turns out I didn't have to take that screw out. Anyway, what do we got here? Let's zoom in. Take a look. So I think this is an 8086-2. Look at that. Never actually seen one of those in the flesh. I'm assuming that's a 8087 socket. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, this era of computer, the drive controllers literally had like the same processing capacity as the computer itself, sometimes more. These bloody blue chips. Oh, this is, it's not memory. Yeah, I can't remember anything from the manual that I looked at a little while ago. Obviously EEPROM chips with the little windows on there. A bucket load of logic chips. SN74. 5 megahertz thingamajig. You know what I mean. Yeah, okay. Couple of jumpers there. Big connector that connects into the backplane board. Cool. All right. What else should we look at? The yeah, like I say, that's the controller board. She has a Z80. Yeah, I wonder if worst comes to worst, we might be able to at least salvage a couple of EEPROMs. Yeah, this board isn't very... Alright, we'll have a quick look at the memory board. Since this is the only time I've ever seen one of these, and probably half of you out there haven't, at least half of you out there probably haven't seen these either. So I think that's it, it's one screw. Does that come out there? How's that come out? Yeah, it's a bit trickier than a first glance. What am I missing? It feels like it's... Has that got something to do with it? There you go, it's got everything to do with it. Wow, look at that memory board. There you go, eh? There's a couple of bodge wires floating around the place there. So this is the 512K memory expansion. So it's 512K memory there. Those chips don't look familiar. They're not the ones from Apple I anyway. Yeah. Cool. Oh, that's the memory card. So let's get these back in and carry on. Anyhow, I'll leave it at that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Take care, everyone. Okay, so I'm just back briefly. I just did a quick search on the 412. Turns out this is a 10 megabyte MFM drive, and it's a bit of a historical thing because it's one of the first drives that was used not just in this WANG but in the IBM PC and other early microcomputers. So yeah, it's actually kind of collectible, even not working. So I'd love to get it working, but then the problem is I don't actually have any MFM controllers because I never managed to find a IBM 5150 to... Yeah, I don't think I've actually got anything old enough. I've got an Apple I, but that doesn't run a... That's like too old. It's like 6 years, or 4 to 6 years younger. So anyway, that's just interesting. I just thought I'd throw that out there just in case anyone was interested to know. So yeah, 10 megabyte MFM. So these drives are also known to be very reliable. There's a site I'll link down below if you're interested in old computers, like computing history from the 80s and 90s. And our power just went out. That's the UPS for my camera computer. Anyway, yeah, if you're interested, I'll put the link down below for, it was called Red Hill Computers. It was a computer store in Ballarat or Bendigo in Victoria, and they've put a lot of useful information from the 80s and 90s up to the early 2000s. One of the view, there are a bunch of technicians, and the owner of the store did like a interesting blog site. So I'll link that down below if you're interested in older hardware. Definitely worth having a read. So apart from that, take care everyone, and I'll see you next video. Ciao.
Nobody looks at personal computing quite like WANG. The WANG professional computer is part of a totally integrated office automation system. Data processing, word processing. With the WANG professional computer, it all ties in. WANG looks at how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together and gives you one solution that fits everyone's needs, bringing everything in your office closer together. WANG helps keep you ahead.